Terra Citta is a project that brings together Japanese, Portuguese cultures to develop a biodiversity farm. The Geoparks of Naturtejo is located in the central part of Portugal. Symbolizing a bridge between Spain and Portugal, this area is the seed of the Mediterranean culture and many civilizations. Indania Nova is part of the Castelo Branco's region that includes about 12,500 inhabitants. Furthermore, this region is known to be rich in cambium, found in the soils that is considered hyper-productive, enabling large areas of agricultural exploitation. A soil naturally enriched due to the presence of two important water springs. As a result of its sufficient size, the Geoparks of Naturtejo can play an important part in the local economy development by focusing on four main targets: education, science, communication, and culture. As you know, the Portuguese were the first Westerners to arrive to Japan in the middle of the 16th century. Today, will be presented to you the first Japanese organic farm in Portugal. However, history repeats itself. 450 years ago, the same thing happened in Nagasaki. In 1562, Lord Sumidita Omura enabled the installation of the Portuguese Jesuit by opening a trading port in Nagasaki, allowing exemption from taxes for 10 years, donating land and farmers, and finally building a Christian church. In 1613, the Lord Masamune Date of Sendai sent the delegation in order to make a commercial exchange with Philip III, the King of Spain, and Portugal. In 1755, an enormous earthquake hit Lisbon. As a consequence, the French philosophers introduced a new version of the world that led the people to be equal, thus questioning the providence of God. Since the 11th March 2011, Japan has changed. Internet has enabled a new system of communication. There has been a real increase of concern about eco-responsibility, security for the food, and more importantly, put an end to nuclear use. This disaster has been a wake-up call for the new generation, juxtaposing a strong message and social influence. About 350,000 people are now living in provisional habitats. They all hope to return as soon as possible to their homes. Unfortunately, the government has announced that it will take at least 2 years, even more, to rebuild these houses. The question is, how can we rebuild the communities during that time? It is fundamental to strengthen social links to allow the future inhabitants to develop this economy and cultural possibilities. The birth of Terra Citta in Naturtejo is one of the solutions. A French association, Carrefour de l'Art de Vivre, supported by the city of Indania Nova, has a project to create an eco-village in Naturtejo in order to welcome the victims of Tohoku, as well as offering the land and farm houses, to develop Japanese bioagriculture and agrotourism. In the region of Tohoku, these following powers must work together. Firstly, the establishment of communities' identity by creating social and economical projects. Secondly, the education program must be settled down to provide manpower for the new communities. And thirdly, based on the two elements discussed earlier, the urban infrastructures must be designed by architects in collaboration with the citizens of the community. The major criteria for the project are education, preservation, and economy. To enable the well-functioning of these criteria, we have put forward lands, farmhouses, and human resources. The synergy of these two nations will establish a nest for innovation and dreams. Terra Citta is composed of 600 acres of land, including 5,000 meters square, available traditional farmhouse. Here is the view from the entrance, and here is a view from the hill overlooking the countryside. Terra Citta has two objectives. The first is managing an eco-life lab and creating sustainable geoproducts. The second is developing new tourism. The new tourism project incorporates 3 programs. The first is the ecotourism. Ecotourism will be centered around the discovery of process of mancraft to cultivate and produce natural products. Secondly, the scientific tourism. The scientists will be able to punctually come to develop their concept and work at the site within the framework of their research, as well as for the general interest. And finally, creating tourism. We will offer the possibility for young academics to include their projects or for artists to create artwork which will remain in the farm. Each program has already 2 or 3 ongoing projects: the ecotourism, the science tourism, and the create tourism. Organic agricultural program. Here are pictures taken during an agricultural training course with Japanese vegetables. Culinary program. Japanese cooking class using Terra Citta natural vegetables. Well-being program. Here are some examples of fabrication of soap and essential oils with Naturtejo biodiversity products such as olives, orange, and female donkey milk. The cycle of life will include 2 programs that are created for the scientists or their artistic innovations. The translation of their experience will be held in every step of the cycle of life. The inhabitants of Naturtejo, Terra Citta, and the professors of the institutions will also participate in the innovation. Apple attitude. The pectin of apples is known to susceptibly decrease the rate of radioactivity. Jacques Genin, one of the most famous French chocolatiers, has created an apple candy with pectin for children of Fukushima. Local fruit attitude. Dr. Misomoto of the Kyoto University will help the local fruit farmers to make a sour drink for watermelons and apples. Eco-home lining. Here are pictures to illustrate the idea of the production of grain tea and dyeing home linen for the eco-responsible hotels, which are made by women in economical difficulty. Washi Fashion Event. A fashion event with Japanese paper called washi with local art school students. Sustainable outfits, geoproducts. The creation of sustainable outdoor wear, new jeans from Terra Citta denim and indigo. Commercialization of geoproducts through internet will be available starting spring 2013. In 2012, we have organized a summer camp for the children of Fukushima in partnership with some Japanese, French and Portuguese medical and educational NPOs. Here are all the people who have made this project possible. In the background, there is a picture of the school where the orphans of the disaster can come to study. And finally, I would like to add that the word which would describe perfectly the past year of preparation of all the projects is solidity. This beautiful word, solidity, has driven all of us with strong energy, allowing us to move forward without forgetting our love and skills. I hope that one day I'll have the honor to share this wonderful experience with you in Terra Citta.